What's up, everybody? This is Mastery and Gamer. We just got our first look at some of the major new content coming in Overwatch Season 4, including 3 major map reworks, and of course, a proper teaser and announcement for the upcoming new hero, D.Mon. And let's go ahead and start off first and foremost talking about the teaser, which was unfortunately not the full reveal we all were hoping it would be. So all these announcements, first and foremost, I should mention, came during the OWCS Midseason Championship, where they had a special presentation from some of the Overwatch devs. And in it, we got a look at the 3 new map reworks, which I will be talking about in detail in this video, but also the D.Mon teaser, teasing her presumed reveal trailer that will be dropping on August 6th. Yes, we still gotta wait all the way until Thursday for them to finally reveal the new hero, but you can tell pretty clearly here, it is indeed D.Mon. We get the look at her logo, the sort of horned D.Mon logo that technically has always existed as part of her mech. Now we get a proper look at it here being used directly to promote her. And yeah, that's sadly basically all we get a look at here, but we get some very interesting additional detail pertaining to D.Mon and the rest of Busan and Mecha Squad, because Busan is one of the maps that is getting a rework. And not just a rework to the map itself in terms of like gameplay and layout, but also to the story, because the Junkers are attacking South Korea. Yes, we pretty clearly see here that the Junkers have launched an all-out assault on at least Busan. Maybe the rest of South Korea is safe, I don't know. But at the very least, Busan is being attacked by the Junkers in their new airship, which, if you've been watching my past videos, you know I've speculated about how D.Mon was going to tie into the major plot line with Talon and the Junkers that we're going to see in Season 4. And it seems like this is how. It seems like negotiations between Talon and the Junkers didn't go so hot, and instead the Junkers decided to take to the air themselves. And lo and behold, we get a Junker airship now making its assault on the city of Busan. And there are some pretty major changes happening to the map itself because of this, including new Junker infrastructure, I guess you could say. They're literally building things in Busan now. They're like taking over, which is wild. But I love seeing this sort of stuff because this is a sort of thing that we don't frankly see happen in Overwatch very much. An actual thematic major update to an existing map based on something happening in the story. I mean, we can even see that the train has undergone a Junker makeover where now it has all these armor pieces on it and fins sticking off. Wild. I'm loving it though. We even get another big jiggly inflatable animal, a new pig to accompany the cow, which apparently the cow is still there. They've just added a pig in addition to it. But beyond the city center itself, even the sanctuary portion has been updated as well, getting a summer aesthetic makeover for the most part, where the leaves of all the trees are now green instead of brown and red like in the fall. There's some other little changes to locations on it, some different gameplay elements. A lot of these map changes do incorporate gameplay elements, it is worth noting. But we do get a look at the airship looming in the sky. And yes, taking us then to Mecha Base, the third and final portion. We can note that the EMP, which Mecha Squad was planning to use to take out the Keishin, has apparently been stolen, according to the devs who are actually giving the presentation here. So that seems to strongly suggest that Mecha Squad won't be using it on the Keishin, and instead the Junkers have likely come to Busan specifically to steal said EMP to deal with their own Omnic issues, presumably. And yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that's how D.Mon is going to get involved with all this. We also see that D.Mon herself is no longer present in the mech upgrade bay. She has mysteriously disappeared, or at least her mech has. And in scouring through the rest of the map, we get a quick sneak peek at the crew quarters. And indeed, we can see quite clearly that D.Mon's room is open. We don't get a look quite at what's inside, but we do indeed see that it is open, and it is more than safe to say D.Mon is the next upcoming hero. But Busan is only one of the maps getting reworked in Season 4, so let's take a quick look now at the other 2. The first map they showed off technically in this preview was Paraiso. The Rio de Janeiro map is getting a upgrade In the same way of a lot of gameplay changes, new access to high ground is the major thing we actually see in a lot of the map changes for both this and the final map we'll be taking a look at. A lot of changes to make attackers have better access to high ground in different positions, which is an interesting seeming change in Blizzard's map design philosophy. We've seen that in the past with reworked maps like Dorado as well. And they're just sort of taking that idea and pushing it on to more maps now. We can also see a new big statue of D.Mon present on the first part of the Paraiso map. We then get the middle portion of the map where they have some new festival decorations, some rooms have been redesigned. Nothing too notable to point out here other than just an overall kind of new flashy aesthetic for it. And then last but not least, we get the club having been updated. A pretty major update here, it looks like. The layout of this area has changed drastically. And they noted that there's even a little frog terrarium where you can see frogs hanging out in a watery area. And apparently, if you play as Lucio and dance on the main floor, some special things will happen. Although they don't show us in the trailer what exactly that will entail. They just told us once the season drops, you know where to go if you're playing Lucio. And the third and final map we'll be taking a look at here now in this preview for Season 4 is Eichenwalde. Eichenwalde will also be undergoing some notable changes, again, largely focusing on giving attackers more options to both take high ground and push onto those defensive positions. So you can see some changes to the initial portion here leading up to that first big choke, easier access to sort of navigate around the map on the long side if you're a flyer like Farah, be able to get around and, poke at them from the back. The middle portion of the map is getting some changes to make that middle castle structure easier to push into from the attacker's side, along with adding a jump pad down in the little chasm where normally there was just a little ledge that you could drop onto and slip into the castle kind of underbelly. Well, now there's a jump pad down there, so you can go down there and use it to actually assault up onto the bridge, which will be very interesting. I'm curious to see how that gets utilized. And there's even a little grate that apparently you can shoot through, as we see Bastion shooting through directly to the jump pad from that front area where the attackers come in. And then for the final portion, the throne room of the Eichenwalde Castle, we do see that they've changed primarily the layout of the spawn room doors, giving defenders more options actually to come out from different areas, which I think is actually a really good decision because this is a fairly easy place for the attackers to sort of choke the defenders at that last point and kind of spawn camp them as they push the payload up the final stretch. So now there are way more options for the defenders to sort of come out and defend the place, including a window up at the top, which is a pretty unique spawn door. It seems like you probably can't stand up there, but rather it's just sort of an opening that you can grapple or fly or jump up through, depending on the hero you're playing. And that does it for everything we've had a look at here now in the upcoming Season 4 preview. Again, I'm a little mad that they didn't give us that proper D.Mon reveal. They even teased in the lead-up stuff for this that there were going to be map designers and a hero designer present. And, technically we got a hero designer making a little cameo right at the end. But, come on. They should have just shown us D.Mon. Either way, though, we only have a few days left. I'm excited to see her properly. And I'm quite excited for these map reworks as well. I think they look aesthetically, at the very least, really, really cool, especially with everything they're doing on Busan with the Junker takeover. I'm loving the looks of this. And I certainly hope we see more stuff like this happen in the future. But on that note, thank you so much for watching. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on the new map reworks, the new hero D.Mon. Are you excited for anything in particular from what was teased and shown off here? And otherwise, if you haven't already, be sure to check out the videos I've already put out talking about Season 4 and the other content we can expect to be dropping with it, along with the video I did covering D.Mon and everything we already know about her going into Season 4. I will have those linked in the cards on screen, and otherwise, be sure to subscribe, hit up that bell icon, follow me on X, and join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any future Overwatch news, streams, and other content. I will be going live not too long after I upload this video, so feel free to swing by and hang out on both YouTube and Twitch, where we'll be playing Overwatch and generally chatting about all the big things coming in the week ahead. Otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.